Hello, everyone. Welcome to Be Real with Loud podcast. I'm your co host, Chanel, and today we have our guest, Magic, who has joined us today. On today's episode, we will be discussing are Black men still the protectors of Black women? As we see in our community, we do see a lot of domestic violence, we do see neglectfulness going on. We do see things that are going on with Black women who have been killed, who have been assaulted. Let's jump right into it, guys. Hey, Magic. Thanks for joining me today on today's topic. How's everything with you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's new with you? How's your summer?
Boring, but but still enjoying. Still
That's,
enjoying.
that's good. Well, thanks for joining me on today's episode. I want to ask you, what's your opinion on Black men not doing their best protecting Black women in today's society? Would you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't agree with it because it depends
Right.
what position you play
Yeah.
in that Black man's life.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that yes, there's a percentage of women who do not feel protected by Black men,
Mm-hmm.
and that's usually, women who, for the most part, they don't like Black men, right?
Yeah.
For example, the video that's circulating on TikTok and Instagram, pretty sure everyone's seen it by now,
Mm-hmm.
right? That video in particular I think it's perfect for this topic. And I think it shows you the difference between, a woman and a bitch, I should say, right? Do I believe that Black men are protecting women? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe that Black men are protecting bitches? No.
Yes.
Right? So a bitch, for example, would be someone like Megan Thee Stallion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the victim mindset. I don't believe that Black men are out here specifically saying, like, let me, defend a bitch. Let me defend my mother, my sister, my wife, my girlfriend. I'll put my life on the line for somebody of that nature. But I won't put my life on the line for a Megan Thee Stallion, a feminist, someone who hates Black men, right? So that, like, to me, I feel like it's how do I say it? There's a conflict when it comes to that topic. Because somebody may have a problem with what I'm saying right now, right? Mm-hmm. But I strongly believe that there's a difference between a woman and a bitch. And I believe that any man in his right mind would protect a woman over a bitch. Because if I was walking down the street and there was, some sort of emblems over someone's, I'm walking down a dark alley, right? And I see guys robbing the lady,
Right.
a woman, and then I see a guy robbing a bitch. I would probably step in with a little bit of aggression to defend the woman, right? Now that's not, I'm not going to say that I'm going to see a man attacking a bitch and I'm not going to, use my voice, use my words to say, hey, man, come on, stop. I'm not going to turn the other cheek and just walk away and act like I didn't see anything. I may just, get aggressive from far, but I'm not going to, apply physical pressure to a man in the defense of a bitch.
Right. So I asked somebody that I work with, and he's a Black man himself, and I asked him the same question I asked you, and he said that he would more defend a woman who has class, who works a job, than somebody who's a stripper or a prostitute. And he said that because they already don't respect themselves. So why should I look out for them and respect them and defend them if they can't even defend themselves and respect themselves? I rather protect a woman who has class than somebody who doesn't have class.
Exactly, and I know it may sound unfair to say, but I oppose this question, and I'm going to ask you this: if you have your husband, right, and God forbid you found out that your husband passed tragically because he put his life on the line to defend some woman that he doesn't even know, and he ended up getting stabbed because he felt the need to defend this random woman. And the random woman, after it's all said and done, the man passed, right? God forbid. This is a hypothetical situation, right? And she has the audacity to say, well, the truth is, I never told him to step in and help me. How would that make you feel knowing that your husband died because he tried to play, Superman for a girl that he doesn't know? Would you not be devastated?
Devastated wouldn't even be the word. I'll be livid. I would be so angry.
And imagine if you had children with that man, right? So this is why I don't get sensitive. I like to break down that title. Do Black men still protect Black women? My answer to that at the end of the day is, what type of Black woman are you?
Yeah.
And it hurts to say, but that's the honest truth.
In today's generation, yeah. Because, some women, some Black women, they don't even like their own Black men.
Exactly.
And it's like, and there's some Black men where they look at with the kind of Black woman that you are. Like, how do you carry yourself? And then there's some Black men, they don't really care how you carry yourself or who you are. They'll still defend you. And then you have some Black men that it doesn't matter. Like, you're this kind of person, I'm not gonna defend you. Look at you. Look how you carry yourself. You're trash. Or look at your character. Who are you? I don't care. I'm not gonna lose my life for this bitch or for this girl. I'm not doing that. Right? So it all depends. Everybody's opinions are different. Everybody sees things differently. And in today's day and age, the way how things are going, Black men, they're just certain people that they'll defend, certain women that they will defend.
Yeah, and I would also add to that topic is that for the most part, this entitlement that Black men are supposed to protect Black women, no matter who they are, I think it's absurd and I think it's ridiculous, right? You are not entitled to the protection of any Black man unless it's, your brother, your father, your husband, your son, your boyfriend, right? You cannot expect a random man on the street to protect you from anything that's happening, right? All you can expect and hope for is that a Black man or some bystander would see you in an altercation and say, oh my goodness, this girl's in distress. Let me call 911.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Now, if it's your brother, your father, your boyfriend, your husband, that's when you expect that person to jump in and do, get aggressive with whoever is trying, with the aggressor, I should say.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That is true too. Because in today's society, it's dangerous. And to interfere with somebody that's assaulting a Black woman and you're a Black man and you see that, You don't know what this aggressive person is doing, what that person has on them. They have a knife, a gun. You end up losing your life trying to save that individual's life, right?
Yep.
That girl goes about her business, probably doesn't even recognize or says thank you, or, you know, her family's not going to recognize, not recognize, acknowledge that, okay, this innocent Black man saved my daughter's life, or this innocent individual, he came to my daughter's rescue, you know? Some people care. They're out of that situation. Okay, well, he saved my life. I didn't ask him to. Okay, oh well, but he died. Okay, whatever. Right? People look at things different.
Exactly. And now understand that that's very same Black man, his mother could be grieving, his grandmother, his wife, his girlfriend, his children, right? And here you are, after a man just put his life on the line for you. Here you are back at the club, twerking, going on about your life, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like we have to redefine the meaning, you know, do Black men protect Black women? I do believe that Black men will protect women, but they won't protect bitches.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I strongly agree with that. There's so much stigma on the word bitches. For example, they would consider a female who's a stripper a bitch, a female who's on the streets a bitch, a female who's a prostitute a bitch, somebody who doesn't bring certain things to the table or who doesn't have class. Those who they class as bitch, right? Those are the ones that don't get respected. Those are the ones who become victim to domestic violence. And you don't have to be a stripper to be a victim of domestic violence. You could be a working class Black woman and you can still be a victim of domestic violence. But in that category, those are the ones who are victims to not being protected.
Absolutely.
Sad to say.
Absolutely. I agree. And, you know, I say to myself, especially when that topic comes up, right? A Black man and a Black woman living in a house, you know, Black man and Black woman are in bed. They hear a sound, right? They both wake up, because they hear a sound. Who is more likely to go and investigate that sound? It's going to be the Black man, right?
Black man.
So it brings me back to that title, that we need to redefine, do Black men protect Black women?
Right. Right. And this woman who got the brick in her face, how do you feel about that situation?
What was funny to me about that situation was I spent like an hour going through her whole TikTok, every single video she ever made. And what she was pushing was utterly disgusting. Right. She was promoting, you know, slapping white people in the face because in the name of reparations. She believes that Black people deserve reparations, so she's going up to random white men and slapping them in the face. And after she slaps them in the face, she twerks. Right? Wow. No one can convince me that this is a woman that's worth protecting. Now, no woman deserves a brick to her face, especially for the reason that she claimed, right? But I'll say this. She was in a video and she said that men do not protect this world. They are not protectors. She said that Black women, we protect the world with their bodies, with their sexual aura, I should say. She also said that it's the lesbians and the Black women and the gays and the trans that do the protection, right? So if that's how you feel about men and you do the protecting, Why were you begging for a man to come and protect you after you got hit with a brick in your face? Where was the they slash them and the lesbians and the she slash hers? Where were they? Go get they slash them to protect you, not men.
Exactly. Exactly. And her behavior. Look at her behavior. Look at her behavior. And who do you think you are going up to people and slapping them in their face? If it was the other way around, if it was a white man doing that to a black woman, how do you think it would turn out? It would have turned out.
It would have been an outrage. It would have been an outrage.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I feel like words are powerful, and there's power in the tongue. And turning around and saying that, the world doesn't need men because men aren't protectors, and then you get hit in your face with a brick, and then you cry wolf for black men to come and protect you after you got hit in your face.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, you reap what you sow.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that she deserved the brick in her face, but I think that was God telling you to humble your damn self.
Of course. And not only that, but we don't even know how far she went with that individual, why that brick was thrown in her face. We don't even know.
Exactly.
You can't expect to assault somebody and think that because you're a female, a man's going to keep his hands to his side, especially in today's generation. Maybe it worked back in those days before we were even born, but in today's generation, you cannot guarantee that when you put your hands on a man, you cannot guarantee that he's not gonna hit you back.
Exactly, and especially when it comes to his safety, right? So I found it funny with this situation where black women are getting online and making videos and saying that, oh, so one woman all said that if I get with a black man and he says to me that he's not protecting a black woman who's not his mom, his aunt, his sister, his wife, his daughter, I'm done with him. That's literally what she said. And black women were outraged through social media. But I found it very interesting because there's literally a video of there was a white they're an interracial couple and they're social media influencers. The white girlfriend stabbed the boyfriend to death.
Yes.
Right? I don't know if you recall this, if you remember this situation. Happened during the pandemic. She stabbed her boyfriend to death, right? Black woman took it amongst themselves to go onto his Twitter, dig up a tweet from 10 years ago that said he doesn't like black women, right? And they took that amongst themselves and said, oh, he didn't deserve to die, but oh, well, he didn't like black women.
Right.
So why is it okay for you to say that about that man who died, but it's not okay for black men to say, I'm sorry, I'm not protecting no random woman on the street that hates men. I'm only protecting my mother, my grandmother, my wife, my girlfriend, my daughter, my sister. What is the problem with a black man saying those words?
That is true. That is true.
Right? So imagine a mother going on social media and seeing all these black women saying the worst about her son.
Exactly. How hurtful.
How hurtful and how disgusted she would be. So once again, this term, black men need to protect black women. There has to be a fine print under it.
Yes, because there's some black women too that don't even protect their black men. There's some black women that will do things to get another black man hurt, right?
Yep.
And I think sometimes too, some men, they look at that. They do. They really, truly look at that. And sometimes they just don't feel, some black men don't feel like they're respected by their black women, right? So maybe that's why they don't go as hard to reach out and protect their Black women, right? Which is sad to say.
Exactly. 100%.
Do you feel if you in this situation, the question I'm going to ask you, do you feel that Black women would protect you?
For the type of Black woman I'm around, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe the type of Black woman that I attract, yes.
Yeah.
Right? But it for me, it depends what crowd I'm in.
That's
right. That's my only answer to that. Do I feel like Black women would defend me? Yes. But it just depends what crowd I'm in.
The environment, the individual.
Yeah, the individual and the type of, but the Black woman that I'm around now, yes, I think they would 100% defend me.
For me, it's like, I wouldn't say 100% because what I see and the environment that I work in, I think a lot has to do with mental health as well, and probably past trauma. There's just a certain amount I could say that in my environment that would protect me. That I can. Yeah. I wouldn't say 10. I couldn't count 10 people, but I could probably say maybe not even 5. I'll probably say 4. Right? Which is kind of disappointing. Yep. Again, we gotta look at other people's past trauma. We gotta look at the individual's character. How do they see Black women, right? Because today's day and age, especially in the city of Toronto, a lot of them don't respect us Black women. A lot. Yeah. Yep. The things that I've been hearing, especially in my work environment, there's a lot of them that don't respect Black women. It's like we're yeah, and I find I'm not to cut you off. You're absolutely right, because I find it entirely disgusting that you feel that way, and Black men as well. Like it goes hand in hand, right? And it's entertaining to me because I heard a saying, and it was like, they love wearing Black. Mm-hmm. They love getting into Black vehicles because it looks classy. But then when it comes to Black being on someone's skin, whether it's a Black woman or it's a Black man, they're disgusted by it. They don't like it. Exactly. Right? And I know I didn't do too much research on this, but I love to know who decided and who said that, white is good, Black is bad, right? Because you're right. A lot of Black women go into, example, workplaces, and they feel alone, right? They feel like they can't be themselves, right? A Black woman goes into a workplace, right? Yeah. My granddad had a saying that said, when your hair is relaxed, white people are relaxed. Mm. You get what I'm saying? So when your hair is relaxed, white people are relaxed. Black women are not allowed to be Black women within workplaces, right? So a Black woman comes into the workplace with her braids, right? It's like, automatically, it's like, oh, wow, this is different. It's not, oh my goodness, you look so good. It's, wow, this is different. This is new. Is that your Ooh. Does it hurt when you put in your hair? Exactly. Can I touch it? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a Black woman shouldn't have to feel like that. So she feels like that going into the workplace, and then she leaves the workplace, and then she doesn't feel protected as well. And I mean this to the Black woman, not the bitches. Yes. I mean this to the Black woman. And I hate, I've seen things like this happen. I've heard stories where,
the only black woman in the office. You know, white people, and I hate to generalize, but it's not just white people, but I'll generalize for the sake of this conversation, is that I've seen instances where white people will literally put their hands into your hair and touch your hair.
Yes.
And be like, oh my God.
Yes.
But they won't say like, oh my goodness, your hair looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You look good, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why is it that a black woman can't walk into an interview with her braids? Why is it that she has to relax her hair for a job interview?
Yep.
Right? They now just I think it's in America, I believe, where they said there's hair discrimination law against black women. So they now just finally accepted.
Isn't that
braids.
Sad?
It's sad. It's extremely sad. Right? And it's sad. And I understand how, you know, black women may say like, you know, there's certain situations where they don't feel protected. Right? And once again, let me clarify to any listeners out there, I mean the woman, not the bitches. I don't care about them. I care about the woman, right? There's a lot of quality women out there that are trying to make an honest day's living. They're trying to, you know, be a law-abiding citizen, follow the necessary steps in life, you know, with class. And they go through these things and they feel alone. And I personally feel that it shouldn't be like that. I know I'm not God. I know I'm not Superman. I can't save everybody. But I definitely, you know, sympathize with you when you say that, you know, there's a couple people on your hand that you can count where you feel protected. Right?
I agree.
Because there's a lot of black women that can't come out and have these type of conversations because they don't know who to have these conversations with. A lot of black men don't have the intellect to say like, you know what, I get what you're going through in the workplace. Exactly. And it always starts from the workplace. It sucks. I hate to say this, but for me, I feel like a black woman feeling alone mainly starts from the workplace.
Yes. Yes. And the things that they have to go through, the comments that they hear, all of that. Oh my gosh, trust me. It's hard to say. It's disappointing. I don't know if there'll be any improvement. I'm not sure, but hopefully things can change. Hopefully things can change over the years. The rate how things are going, it's just not right. It really isn't.
I'm at a point where I feel like the ones who get it from the ones who don't get it, we need to just leave them behind and let them stay where they're at, right? Yeah. And what I'm saying has been, you know, it's been proven in history before, right? You could bring this back to the Bible days where when Moses went to cross the Red Sea and some people didn't believe, they said, you know, he's leading us to death, right? Or when someone like Harriet Tubman was like, yo, I have a plan to free the slaves. Let's take this way. And somebody's like, don't freaking listen to her. She don't know nothing. Right? So I'm trying to like, what I'm trying to say is we need to be able to leave those people behind and we need to figure out a way to unite together as a community. Right? So if you have the ignorant mindset, the ignorant mentality, stay your ass over there. If you don't get it, the same way the Bible says, those who have the eyes to hear, the eyes to see, the ears to hear, will get it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's strongly what I believe in, us unifying once again and you know, at least coming back full circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that there's any mental health that plays a role in it?
With women or
protecting women and Black women, especially? Do you think
to be honest,
raised to not to respect Black women? Because I feel like it all depends on the environment.
Yes, it does depend on the environment, because I've seen situations where a man would put his hands on a woman, but that very same man, if you tell him, what if I put my hands on your sister or your mom? He'll be like, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. But how would you feel, or how do you think that person's parents feels about you putting your hands on their daughter? You get what I'm saying? So yes, I do believe that mental health does play a role somewhere deep down the line. Is it the parents to blame? Absolutely not, because there's a lot of men out here that are saying, "Oh, I seen my mom go through the struggle." Well, that's not an excuse for you to be uppercutting your girlfriend. Exactly. Or to be giving her some Mortal Kombat Street Fighter Ultra combo. That's not an excuse, right? Yes. And a lot of Black men, especially Caribbean men, I hate to say this, but a lot of Black men, oh, my mom beat me. So because your mom beat you in a form of discipline, that means that you should put your hands on your girlfriend? Does that make sense? That does not make any sense. Does that make sense? That makes no sense, right? So for you to not go into, like, dig deep into the root, I think it's mental illness. Exactly. I feel so too. There's a lot of angers, a lot of issues going on. A lot. And I just feel like, for me, as a Black woman, I feel that it's always good to know your surroundings. There is great Black men out there that will protect their Black women. And I just feel like, for Black men, like, you need to understand that we as Black women, we need to be respected at all times. We need to be respected at all times. And not everything needs to be violent. You don't need to react to a Black woman with violence. You don't need to put her down. You don't need to, make her feel like she has no worth, right? Because a lot of Black men too, they do deserve counseling as well. They need to reach out to people and talk, I know in the Black community, some Black men, they're told not to speak up, not to say anything, because there's just this stigma that if you speak up and talk, you're weak. Would you agree? 100%. Okay. 100%. As a Black man, this is how you're raised, right? Mm-hmm. You're raised, you see your sibling do something, you go to mom, and mom says, I didn't raise no bitch. Last time I checked, I only have one daughter, right? You're a boy, don't be tattletaling. Or, you come to your mom crying. Like, example, a mom, she has a boy child and she has a girl child. The girl child falls on the ground and gets hurt. No, sorry. The boy child falls on the ground and gets hurt. It's man up. Be a man about it. No crying. No crying. Yeah. The girl child falls. It's, oh, come, baby, come. And come. Right?
We're just going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, guys.
Just gather my words. So what I was saying, based off of, the topic of mental health, and, I don't want to say it starts from the home, but in a way it does, because a lot of parents don't realize that they are their child's first bully. And
that's true.
Yeah, so in a society where we play the blame game so much, And it may sound like I'm doing it right now, but we need to dig to the root of things, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that this is everyone's situation, but in my situation personally, you know, there was a period in my life where I was bullied by my guardian in a way, right? But me being bullied, that didn't make me say, let me go and uppercut a woman, my girlfriend, because my girlfriend didn't listen to me today,
Exactly.
right? It's not an excuse. And at the end of the day, you need to be able to fight your way through things, knowing what's right, what's wrong, what's wrong.
Yeah.
And there ain't no in between. There ain't no. It's sad to say, but things are black and white. And I know not everybody's gonna look at things as black or white, but it's literally the Bible talks about there's good versus evil. There ain't no in between.
True.
All right. So this is where we're at in society.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Whew. That was I think that was a really honest opinion that you gave. And like I said, you know, you have your kids, but you don't make their mind sometimes, depending on the situation. And then there's men out there, they're from boys to men, they grow and they just have this personality trait and they just feel like women shouldn't be respected.
Yeah, and I feel it's like a victim mindset. It's an excuse, right? I get it that this conversation can go both ways, right? There's a lot of women who do make up excuses and say, although my mom and dad lived at home and they were together, my mom told me things that my dad didn't do, and I grew up resenting man. And then you have other women who grew up with mom and dad, and they watch their dad treat their mom like a queen and treat her right and do all the right things, and now they expect that treatment from a next man, right? So there's a line of uh, something was broken somewhere deep down the line, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like playing the lottery. When you meet a guy, you don't know what you're gonna get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you stick your hand into the raffle, you pull out a little note, you flip it. It's oh my goodness, he's a nice guy, he's handsome, but side effects may include mental health issues, anger issues,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or you dig your hand into the raffle again, you pull it out, very good guy, polite, respects woman, but lacks in certain areas, right?
Yeah.
Which I would say is a sexual desire.
Mm-hmm.
So now, one big problem that I'm starting to see, especially from women, right? I feel like a lot of women believe that they have some magical super powers, that they can change these type of men who have these unhealed trauma issues.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry, you are not the Mary, the fairy godmother, I should say.
You can't change them if they don't want to be changed. You can't keep a man who doesn't want to be kept, and you cannot change a man who does not want to change. Once they have it in them, it's so hard to break it out of them. It's so hard.
Exactly. So you're digging into a raffle and you're getting something that's telling you in plain sight, this is who I am. I may look good, but I come with anger issues, unhealed trauma, right? And you have women today that are still saying, oh, it's okay, I could change him. I could change him. And then when you get a second chance to dig your hand into the raffle and you meet a nice guy, comes from, good autopsy, whatever the case is, you're saying, he's a nice guy, but that's as far as it goes. I want this guy.
Yes.
And far too often you're seeing women choose the man with the unhealed trauma because they feel that they can change him. And this is where I believe accountability and realism needs to come into play, where I think a lot of women need to be able to identify a piece of shit for what it is.
True.
This guy is a piece of shit. Let me leave him over there in the corner. I should not be trying to go and talk to this piece of shit because he fits society's, standards of looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then over here, I got the nice guy that, he's a good man. He was raised with family values, respects women. He's gonna, make me become a wife, and he's gonna make me better. The moral is that a lot of women will wait until they feel shit, right? And then a lot of men are built on survival and not love. And I think those two are like oil and water. They don't get along. They don't mix.
That's a
right. So it's our mothers telling their daughters, this is the type of guy you go for, right? This is the type of guy you should be choosing. Do not get summoned by society that, because this guy is 6'3" and he's this and he's desired by every single woman, but he has, look into his history, he almost killed this ex. I'm convinced that if Jeffrey Dahmer looked like Michael B. Jordan, a lot of women would still turn around and say, well, I could change him.
They would have an excuse for him.
They would have an excuse, and that's the biggest problem. A lot of women are using the excuse that they seen their mom go through hell with, their dad or their siblings' dads, that they feel that now they should take on that excuse and use it for the guy that they see, that they know is no good for them.
And what I find that there's a certain desire and type of man that they like. So even though that they know that the man is toxic, they're still gonna continue with the man.
Yep, and it sucks, right? And you'll have these very same women that will have one of these guys put them through hell. And now when they hit the age of like 35 plus, now they want to say, oh my goodness, now I want a good guy. After this guy done gave you like 3-4 kids, ruined you, left you, you're like half dead.
Yes.
And now you see a guy that, who wanted you genuinely for who you are. Now you want that guy. Now you finally get it. Now you realize, because the excuse in today's society is, for women, I feel is I was young and dumb. For men, it's, oh, I've been through so much shit. My mom put me through so much. There's always an excuse. There's always a victim mindset on both ends. And I just don't, it's time we look at the solution. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for the most part, you'll have women say, oh my goodness, something just told me. I went with my gut feeling. Well, bitch, sometimes that gut feeling is the devil.
That too.
Right? So something told you who's something. That's the devil. Right? Stop making up excuses to fulfill your fantasy in your head. You know what this guy is. You looked at his phone. You heard from other women say that this guy, or let's use Jeffrey Dahmer, for example. You seen his mugshot on TV.
Yes.
He came out and he told you, hey, listen, this is what I am. I kill women. I chop up their bodies. And you still felt like, oh my God, well, I could change him. And I think that's the problem with society. Lust controls love, and lust overpowers love, and it plays into a mental health factor on both ends, on man and woman, right? Because a lot of young Black men in today's society are not raised on love. Some were raised on survival, right? Some were raised on love and they got influenced into a life that they're not. And they make up a whole bunch of excuses on why they treat a woman like this. Yeah. A man will get his heart broken in grade 5 and then go through life making up excuses why he don't trust women. And he's like 40 years old.
Yep.
Make it make sense. It makes no sense.
Yep. That is true. Yeah. Wow. I think this is a great conversation to have. And to all of our listeners, what do you guys agree on? Let us know. Email us. Let us know on our Instagram. Let us know your opinion.
Yeah, make sure you comment too.
Yes, comment, and like, and subscribe. Wow. How do you feel about the whole Chrisean situation?
Chrisean and Blueface, sometimes it just leaves me lost for words because I don't think a lot of people knew who Chrisean was before this whole fame thing came about. Mm-hmm. The girl was legit a pretty girl. She was a track star. In shape, looked healthy. She was like, I think she was on like Honor Roll. She was doing, I can't even say the word triathlons. Like she was heavy in track until she met this guy. Yeah. This guy, Blueface, who is ultimately an idiot. Like this is the guy this is the type of guy that every father fears their daughter to run into. Yes. Yeah. He is the perfect this is a mother's nightmare. This is a father's nightmare. It's a guy like this. And although I'm saying father's nightmare, did Chrisean's boyfriend Blueface not knock her dad out? Yes. Yes. I saw that. So to me, they're a match made in hell. Mm-hmm. They are perfect for each other over the pits of hell. He's toxic himself, right? I think on a celebrity scale, I feel like he's afraid of her getting better, becoming bigger than him, which she is, right? And I feel like he had the biggest hand in, to play in making her become bigger than him. And she's about to become bigger than him. And everything that's happening to him now, it's his karma. It is his karma. You created this girl, so deal with it. Why are you upset? Why are you saying that she's clout chasing? No, you created her. That is true. Deal with it. And then now, because you're afraid that she's gonna become bigger than you, you're going back to your other baby mother that you disrespected multiple times. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And then keep in mind, this is the same Blueface guy that let his girlfriend beat up his mom. Then him and his boys beat up his mom's boyfriend. And then him and his boys beat up his sister's girlfriend. Jesus. And then now his mom is getting on record telling the world that Chrisean and Blueface are actually cousins. No way. Yeah, she's getting on record now and she's saying that they're actually cousins, which I feel is completely bullshit. Yeah. Right? It's completely bullshit. But it's like, as a mother, why would you come out and say some nonsense like that? Something like that, yeah. And then now you look at him and then you look at her and you say, oh my goodness, the apple really didn't fall too far from the tree.
Oh,
These are one of a kind. Both goof troops. So, Krishan, I wish that she can get back to who she once was.
yeah.
And she takes this and runs with it. But this girl is about to be a reflection of his karma.
Yes.
And good luck. Good luck to him. Because nobody's waking up and checking for the new Blueface album.
No, nobody's doing that.
No, nobody's looking for that.
His piano, that's the only song I heard. That's the only
it.
song I love about him.
He's done. That guy, he's done. He's ultimate womanizer.
Yeah. I think he's a narcissist too.
Yeah, he's very narcissistic. He doesn't, have the intellectual capability to even tell her that she's clout chasing.
Mm-hmm.
And you built this girl off of clout.
Exactly.
So, like, come on, man. He's a joke. Whatever comes next for him, he deserves it.
Honestly, what I was shocked about was when they were physically fighting. And it's like he's fighting her like she's a man and she's fighting, like just defending herself, and they still got back together and she got pregnant. I was shocked with that one. I didn't know that she would even go back to him. After a man lays his hands on you, I don't think you should ever get back with that individual. I
100%.
just hope and pray that the kid, her baby, grows in a healthy environment, that this child is going to help her get better in life and for her to see her true worth, because her son needs her. Her son needs her, and she's raising a Black child.
Yep, and she's trying to file for full custody, and I don't blame her, because if you look what Blueface is doing with his other child by the other baby mother, the child just turned, I think he turned 6, and this guy had strippers at the 6-year-old's party twerking on him. Oh, and then when the kid starts to freak out, right? And you see, like, let me gear off topic a bit. A lot of young mothers in today's society, and keep in mind, that child's mother was there, and she was twerking too with the strippers, right?
They're disgusting.
They're both disgusting, and these are pieces of shits about to raise their child to become another piece of shit, right? So a lot of these young mothers today are raising their children up as, to be like the men that left them, right? So you will see, like, that kid, he started crying. He didn't want that. He's 6 years old. You couldn't get him a Spider-Man, a man to dress up as Spider-Man or a Batman, right? You be buying these kids Nikes and new LeBrons. They don't want that shit. They want the new Spider-Man shoes, right? Buy them that. Buy him the new Batman shoes. Then you're
appropriate. Imagine what that child's gonna do now as he gets older. His expectation in women, right? How he's gonna treat women. This is what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Accepting Black women.
Exactly. And the internet is wide open.
Exactly.
The internet is wide open. I seen an article. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's an article where a kid got expelled because the whole classroom, right? He brought a knife to school because the whole classroom teased him because his mom had OnlyFans, and the kids found out about it.
Embarrassing.
And because he brought the knife to school, they painted the picture that he had the knife, he had the intent to do bodily harm to people.
Dear God.
So, like, this is going back to the conversation of, like, the nuclear like, we as Black people, we need to redefine, come together, create, go back to the years of the nuclear Black family, and because this ain't it. Where we're at right now, this ain't it. This isn't it. Like, look at Krishan. Krishan, and she's the perfect example of what I'm afraid of for when I have a daughter. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm training my daughter to be locked and loaded. I wish Blueface would try my daughter because I'm going to tell her that if one of these single mothers, you better raise your son right with morals and respect, because I'm going to teach my daughter to click, clack, and boom, and blast your fucking son into next week.
That's it. That is it.
I'd be damned to let one of these goof troops put their hand on my child. Yeah. Right? Because a lot of these young single mothers are more concerned with making TikToks. They're more concerned in ratchet TV like Blueface and Krishan. They're more concerned in watching that, catching up on the latest Bad Girls Club episode, Love and Hip Hop, name brand clothing, and they're not investing into their children, right? So you're projecting this negative energy onto your child, right? Now your child, whether it's a boy or it's a girl, they're gonna grow up with this fucked up mentality. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here you go again. This is the problem. Like, look at Blueface's mother, right? And then she had the worst to say about Blueface's dad, right? Okay, but you ended up raising your son to be just like the type of men you dislike. Yeah, and that's the sad part. That's where the toxic toxic traits come in, right? Exactly, and far too often you are seeing these women end up raising their children to be their boy children to be just like the same men that they dislike. And that's why the cycle continues. And this is why in the Black community, to stop all of this on the woman's end and the Black man's end, is we need to be able to hold each other accountable. Yeah. Until we hold each other accountable, I think that's when we'll be able to come to common ground, and the topic of discussion will be like, don't you dare do that to my Black woman. Don't you dare try to raise your voice at a Black woman or such and such. I feel like once we come to common grounds with things on both ends, I think Black women will feel protected. A Black man will come out and say, yo, you know what? My Black sisters were, looking out for me today. I can't talk to them like that. Yes. Let me make sure my Black sisters are good. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the truth. It's the truth. It is the truth. Ooh, that was a great topic. Listeners, what did you think? Tell us your opinions. For me, I just think that hopefully society and the men in today's generation can know their worth and, know a Black woman's worth as well. And just to know that there's a lot of women that are not going to put up with their disrespect. At the end of the day, they deserve to be protected. And I feel that today's day and age, you just never know. You don't know. I believe that the women that deserve to be protected are the good women that respect Black men, the women that don't wake up and hate Black men for whatever reason. Yeah. The Black men that deserve love from Black women that don't wake up and hate Black women, because there's a lot of Black women living in delusional land, and then there's a lot of Black men that are still making excuses as to why they almost killed their baby mother, right? We as a Black community need to leave those people behind and say, yo, go stay over there. Yes. Go, you go stay over there. We're creating something new. Let's move forward. That's the only way. Some of them are really a threat and very dangerous. Exactly. This is, I do believe that there's a percentage of good women that deserve women right, that deserve protection from a Black man.
Yeah.
But then this whole ratchet masculine, I have to be masculine because, you know, I have to play both roles for my child. I have to play this masculine figure, all this excuse, right? Just for you to avoid accountability that you're just of a piece of shit like the man you picked, right? You're just as to blame as the piece of shit man that you decided to procreate with. We got to understand something here. A lot women are choosing men that have to read a paragraph with their fingers to procreate with.
Yeah.
You're choosing guys that can't keep a job to procreate with.
Yeah.
Right? You're having babies with those men, right? And you end up raising them children alone. It's not easy for a single mother to raise a child alone, but you end up raising this child alone to become who? Worse than his father.
Yeah.
Right? So
that's for the cycle.
where are we gonna stop this cycle? At what point are we gonna say, yo, this is absurd now. This has gone too far, right? Because the first thing that we do as Black people, we say, oh my gosh, it's the Black man's fault.
Yep.
So hold on. It's not just the Black man's fault. It goes both ways because at the end of the day, right? What told you that buckshot from Scarborough with 3 baby mothers would be an active daddy?
You see how sad that is?
Right? What gave you that vibe that a guy who can't keep a job, who believes in the fast life, what about that? A guy like that gave you active daddy, active father, family figure, nuclear family. What about that?
Yeah.
We got to stop pointing the fingers. I only feel sorry for the women that were in a relationship with their child's father before they had a kid and something happened and their relationship separated.
Yes.
I give praise to the single mothers who, you know, are trying their best, you know, to raise their children, right? I give props to, you know, the single mothers and the single fathers who are co-parenting, right? I give props to them, but I do not feel sorry for someone who, you know, you fell for a Black man based off of lust and you didn't care to look and see that, you know, the batteries are not included.
Yeah.
You didn't care to look deep under the hood to see what's really, you seen, oh my goodness, okay, you know what? The oil change is good. You didn't care to look under the hood and see what else is with this guy, right? You didn't care about that. You just said, oh, you know what? It's a Lamborghini, looks perfect, time to go. Or, oh, it's a Range Rover, looks nice. This is going to make me look good.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all about, you have to know what man you're dealing with. You got to know everything about them. And when I say everything, I mean everything. You want to know their background, their history, their family. You want to know everything about them because once you lay down with that man and you have a child with that person and you know that person was toxic from the beginning, but you didn't care. And then all of a sudden you have a child with that person and they start dealing with you like a piece of crap, being so toxic, narcissistic. Listen, you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Exactly. And especially like, I feel like a lot of us, right? Not all, I'm not going to generalize, but not all, but there is a good majority of us, right? Who I strongly feel that, you know, we were raised off of, a lot of women are birthing children off of lust. And I think that's why a lot of us are so fucked up right now. And I'll say that. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. That brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you to everyone for listening to today's episode. Thank you, Magic, for joining us today. To all our listeners, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great week, everyone.